Good morning, guys. It is Saturday morning, and I am getting ready to work on my next project around here at the house. So, I have wanted to change out my flower bed because it's like totally disgusting. And want to have all these trees. There's one, there's two, there's one, there's two, there's three, and then there's another one on the other side. I want to take up some of these trees. I need to redo this pitiful looking flower bed, front ones, to go with the look that I want in the front. So I have these evergreens right here. No rhyme or reason how they planted these trees and shrubs out here for the flower bed. It looks so pitiful. So I want to redo it. There's two big evergreens over here on this side right there. There's one, and then there's another one right there behind this. Well, it's actually over here far off to the right. Just looks totally ridiculous. So I want to put all of this stuff up. I want to get the mulch up, and I'm going to change to the black mulch. And then out there also by the light post, all those little pitiful looking plants, just pitiful looking. I want to put all of them up, and I'm going to plant some different things, and I already have the other plants out in the garage. But today I just wanted to get started pulling everything up and taking the mulch out. I'm hoping that it's been raining this morning. The sky's a little clear right now. Well, it's partly cloudy. I'm hoping I have at least a good 2 hours, 3 hours where I can start to pull up this mulch. I'm going to start with that first and then pull up whatever plants I can pull up. Hopefully the trees won't be that hard to dig up, and I can get started with this project. But that is what I am going to be working on today, because the next thing I want to do after I get my flower bed set up the way I wanted, and I have those plants, right now they're in the garage. I have those plants, but once I get it set up, then I have my chairs and my whole little lounge set for the front patio, or not front patio, for the front porch that I want to sit out, my little table and my two chairs. So that's what I'm trying to do, is to get set up and getting my front porch finally. I had those chairs and everything since last year, and I hadn't put them out because, oh, sorry, y'all. I hadn't put them out because I've been waiting to get the flower bed and everything like I wanted. And then also I think I want someone to come and wash the house before I put the the chairs and everything out on the porch. But that's what I'm working on today. And I'm getting ready to go out here and get started raking this up. Okay. Okay, guys, so here is the yard. You can see where I finished. Today is Wednesday, and I actually finished the entire thing Monday. This part I finished Sunday. I did Saturday and Sunday. You saw my friend helping me. I was able to pull up all of the trees and the shrubs, and there's some, I'm standing inside, but there are two shrubs over here on the other side of this post that were there. I pulled those up as well. And this one, this little bush, I replanted. It was over here in this corner. There were three of them right in front of this post. I pulled all three of them up. One I replanted here because I want to shape it later on as it grows up. I'll do some shaping with that one. But I have my hostas planted. I have three bushes that are going to flower. The one in the center is going to give a pretty dark blue flower. And then I have two azaleas on either end. Now you can't really see it from in here. And then out there near the street, I have the little grass, I forget what you call that type, but it will shoot up lavender flowers. So I wanted to have some blue, white flowers and some lavender mixed in. And I want to do that for the planters that I'll show you later as I'm trying to get my patios set up, the front porch here and the back patio set up for spring and summer. But yeah, I did this. It took my friend and I like an hour and a half. And look, I'm not going to tell you the whole story right now. And so, yeah, my friend and I did this. You saw my friend, she was helping me marry. It was so funny. So we did this in like no time. And of course, you can see what I did was I changed the mulch from the brown to the black. And I had to be careful because some of those bags were not black. So I have one in the garage. I'm going to take it back. And next time I'm going to get a different brand. I bought the Vigoro brand, and some of those bags, the mulch was like a dark brown color, but it was supposed to be black. So I'm just going to pay a few cents more and get the Scott's black mulch, and I could stand to go back over it a little bit more with a little bit more mulch, so I will do that. But again, I have all of the hostas planted. There's a couple hostas that you can't see. You can probably see just the tip right there of one, and that one's going to be blue, and I put it in the back. It's smaller than this bigger green one right here, but when it grows up, the ones that I put in the back, they're going to be really large. So I put the larger hostas in the back, and they'll grow really large. And I didn't want it like taking up all of the space, so I planted them far apart, and it's right next to the bush. On either side of this bush, there is one of those blue hostas, and it will shoot up lavender flowers. And then the others, when they shoot up, some of them do white flowers, some of them will do a lavender flower, and then the smaller like lime green ones in the front. And I may go back and get more of those just to, fill in between. I may do like three more of those because I need to maybe put another one over here on this side as well. But I may do that. But I changed out to the black mulch, and I love how it looks so much nicer because my house is white, so it looks a lot nicer, and I like that. So it came out really well. And I'm gonna, when I get through showing you this, I'm going to tell you the story behind this and how I got started doing this. Okay guys, so here I am in the backyard, and here are the other two bushes that I removed from the front and I replanted back here in the back. And so I wanted to have those, and I'm going to do the same thing when they grow up. I want to shape them into balls just to be on the back patio. And I'm not going to do flowers, and I'm not going to add any trees. This stays pretty shaded, plus it's covered. So, but I did want to just replant those, and I want to get the patio set up for, like I said, late spring and summer. And yeah, so that's those two replanted in the back. I did those and I, took up the grass and I tried to use it. I need to put some more. I need to water them, one thing, but I need to maybe put a little bit more dirt. I put the grass back on top. It doesn't look like it, but I put the grass back on top, and I'm just going to water that. I don't like the way that one's looking. I need to come back out here and do something to that one, wet it and shift it. I don't like the way it's leaning back, so I'm going to come and do that. So yeah, that's that. I have that, and I'm going to be getting that ready. And as I'm doing the patio, I need to clean it. So just ignore all of the how it needs to be swept and all of that. But this is going away. This little bench is going away. I bought a patio couch set with like the Chase Lounge. It's not a big one, it's small. It's gonna be a nice perfect size for here. And then I also have like the turf grass, the fake grass that I'm gonna put down here for carpet instead of like a rug, because I really hated how it turned out before my patio when I put a rug down. The difference with that was that patio wasn't covered. This one is covered, but I still didn't want to use a rug. I'm going to use that turf that I bought. And then I have my patio furniture for the back and my chairs and tables for the front porch. They're in the garage, they're in boxes. I need to unbox it, so that's gonna be a different project. Once I'm totally done with getting the yard done, I think I'm done. Just have one little more thing to do, and that is to put an edge around the flower bed. One of my neighbors let me borrow their tool, and I'm gonna use their tool to create an edge around the flower beds. And it won't impact me putting the furniture out, but I just wanna have everything ready. The other thing is I have the materials and everything I need to do the wreath for my front door. So I want to make sure that I have everything ready so that when I do the porch, I do the door, I do my rugs out in the front, my planters, I have everything that I need to set the porch up completely set up. So I have to I don't know if I'm gonna use those 2 flower pots that are sitting on the porch now. I may go ahead and use those and just sit them in the planters that I have that are in the boxes in the garage. But I bought those last spring or summer, and I think it must have been like late fall I bought them, and I just didn't put it up because I was like, look, it's getting ready to change seasons. There's no use in me putting this out now. I will wait until the spring, and now I've just been waiting because I wanted to have everything together. So one of my next projects is to complete the wreath. That's for the front. I don't have to wait on that to do the back. I think the back is what I'm gonna do last. The patio furniture for the back, I'm gonna do that last. So I wanna do everything for the front. So that is, I have the rugs for the front. I have the materials to make the wreath. I have my chairs. I have now found my little table. I have to do a little DIY thing with the table before I put it out. So you'll get to see all of that and of course see the final project. But I'm just gonna be working on this a little bit at a time because it's still cold here. I mean, I just did the yard. I just did the front yard the other day, and it was icing. I mean, back and forth. I'm gonna close this door. It was back and forth icing last weekend when I was trying to do the yard. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I was like, well, I'm not going to stop because, Saturday and Sunday, it was raining and it would ice and so on. So I just said, well, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna go ahead and do just go ahead and get it done. And I just put on my little rain jacket and just hung in there till I finished everything. Okay guys, so yes, I just finished showing you the back patio where I moved those other little hedges that I had. There were 3 up here. There was like no rhyme or reason how they set up the flower bed. It just didn't make sense, and I just did not like it. It did not go with the house at all. And I changed it out, put in just a few I love hostas here. It's a flower that grows in this part of the country, and it's very popular. I love the hostas. I have two azalea bushes. They're white. And then this bush I was showing you earlier in the center, that one is going to give off like a dark blue flower. And my front door is blue. So that's kind of the color that I want. Plus I mixed in a little lavender. I want a little lavender in there as well. So I'll have like a dark blue flower. I'll have lavender, and I'll have some white flowers. And then I'll have the nice green hostas, the pretty green hostas. And so I did not want all these trees. And even that tree, I don't know if you can see this tree out here. I even pulled it up, but I found out later that, you can't take that tree out near the street because it's for the aesthetics. So I couldn't remove that tree. I didn't want it because it's orange. It gets orange, doesn't go with the aesthetic of the house. And then the leaves. I'm like, all the trees that they had, they gave them all to me. No one else had that many trees. I was like, this is too much. There were 2 trees in the flower bed. If you saw Mary pulling those up. She was so funny. Mary pulled up all the trees before I even finished putting the mulch in the bags. She was done. Which brings me to my story. This is what I wanted to talk about, y'all. Okay, so I'm single. And I've always known this. It's not like it's something new, but it just bothers me every time. Guys, I called a landscaper. I called a couple to get a quote on doing my flower beds. And I'm going to pull this up. I called them to get a quote on doing my flower bed. And the guy came out here and he just looked, didn't really, assess, didn't walk around or anything. And then tells me that it's going to be $3,000 to pull up the little flowers that were in this flower bed right here, and to pull up what was in that flower bed, just some little flowers, shrub, not even shrubs, okay? They were just some little flowering things and some kind of ground cover that I could probably just go straight out there and pull up with my hand without even doing any digging. And then I had the 2 trees. And I was like, he said $3,000. And I thought about it, and I was going to do it, but something just didn't sit right with me. I was like, I said, I don't know. I just feel like this can't be the going rate. I know things are more expensive here, but I was like, this can't be the going rate. Not for this little bitty flower bed. And it's not like he was going to have to create a whole new flower bed. He was only just pulling up the few things that I had in the flower bed and replacing it with the few things that I bought. I mean, you can see I don't have much in there, just the little plants that you see. A few hostas. I have 4 of the little ones. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the little ones. I have 3 of the medium-sized ones. And you can't see, I only have 1 there and 1 right here, right in between these 2 planters. You can't see it. I have 2 of those. And then right in the back, that it's little now, but it's going to grow up bigger. It's called a blue hosta. I have 3 of those. That's all I had to plant in the 3 little bushes. They're real little. That's all I had to plant. And the guy was telling me $3,000 plus the 4 little grasses that I have out there that will flower, just 4 of them. And he was telling me $3,000 for that, and replacing the mulch. And I was like, okay, what are you doing? How many hours is it going to take you, and how many people? Because I'm trying to figure out, where's $3,000? How was this job $3,000? And so he tells me, it's going to be 3 people and it's going to take us 8 hours. And I was like, stop haggling. Just stop haggling. Just do it, And I don't know. I came into my office. That's where I'm standing in my office looking out this window. And I looked at the flower bed then and I said, you know what? This is really nothing. This is nothing. I said, I just can't do it. I thought about my mom. When my mother was my age, honey, when I bought my first home, my mom was my age. I would be in the house Saturday morning trying to sleep. My mom is out there in my yard, unbeknownst to me. My mother's out there digging up yard and planting hedges and planting a flower bed and doing all of this in my yard at my age that I am now. I was like, girl, You better think about your mom. Get out here and do this yard yourself. And I was telling my friend Mary that came to help. Mary's like, oh no, that's ridiculous. We can do that ourselves. And she was so insistent. I can't believe how insistent she was on helping me to get this done. But she was like, we can do that ourselves. She said, $3,000. You can buy a husband for $3,000. Oh my gosh, I hollered. Mary said, you can buy a husband for $3,000. So I said, you know what? I know. I said, I think it's a ripoff, and I'm just gonna do it myself, you know. And so Mary was so nice and so gracious and so, you know, gung ho to come over and help me. And by the time she got here, I had just started. I raked off all the mulch, and I was starting to put it in the bags when she pulled up. Mary got out there, got my little tool, and the next thing I know, I hadn't even finished putting all the mulch in. Mary had dug up all the trees, again, including that one that's out over here that, you know, you probably can't see too well, but there's a tree out there near the street. But I ended up having to stand that one back up because, you know, right now we can't touch that, you know, from the HOA. You can't touch that tree. I said, you know what? It's fine. It can stay there. And then once they're done, I'm going to replace that tree. I'll replace it because it's just too many leaves. You can see from the back, it's just all trees. It's wooded, just like it is up here in the front. If you can see across, there that it's just trees. And so that's the way my backyard looks. Just, you know, with the trees in the back. So it's just all those trees, if you can see across there. You know, they're real tall, real pretty. It's really beautiful in the spring and summer. But that's the way my back is. And so there's enough leaves back there for me not to have to want extra trees and leaves and everything in the front. But anyway, the problem that I was having is this thing that these contractors do when you're trying to hire someone and you're a single lady and they pull up to your house, wherever you live, your neighborhood. If it's not just the fact that you're single, it's the fact they pull up in your neighborhood and they size you up based on where you live, and they pull this number from somewhere. They just pull out a number that they want to charge you for doing the job, you know. And I'm like, you know, this is just, it's such a shame. It's such a shame that, you know, people do that. If it's the neighborhood, I can get it. But I know that as a single woman, I have experienced contractors just telling you something crazy because, you know, you're a woman and you're not supposed to know. So the guy said, it's 3 people and it's going to take them 8 hours. And I was just scratching my head because I'm like, I'm not seeing 8 hours. I'm not seeing how this job is going to take you out 8 hours. So here's the kicker. Mary and I, and the other thing he said, because he also has to haul all of that stuff off, right? He had to haul everything out. Well, don't forget, 3 of the shrubs are replanted. So it was only 2 of the shrubs and 2 of the trees, which were both small. I used my little tree clipper, whatever you want to call that thing, and I cut the limbs down so that it could easily fit, you know, into a bag. And so he's like, oh, I have to haul all of that off. Well, I go to the dump because I know where the dump is. Mary and I, from start to finish, including the time that it took us to go take this stuff to the dump, was an hour and a half. I said it, an hour and a half it took Mary and I to do this job. Now, not the planting, but the digging everything up. I planted out near the street. I did that part on Saturday. This part over here, I did Saturday. And then, you know, it just kept raining and going on and snowing. So I went ahead and I stopped. And then it was so funny because after I did, I come back in the house. Next thing you know, then the sun comes out again. I was so tired of this schizophrenic weather. I just went back in the house. So I said, okay, Sunday, I'm going to have to get out before it gets started, you know, and even if it did, I was like, I'm just going to do this. At first, I one time when it started raining and kind of hailing, that's what it was doing. It was raining, then it hailed, then the sun come out. Then it rained, it hailed, then the sun come out. I was like schizophrenic. So I took the bags in one time, And I just sat there. I just sat on the porch and I just, fiddled with my phone and just waited. I said, it'll stop in a minute. It did. I brought everything back out and that's when I decided, look, I'm going ahead and plant this. And I had to make a trip back to Home Depot. No, yeah, Home Depot to pick up some other planting things. I was out of the planting mix for the little hostas. And so I just decided to go ahead and go to Home Depot. When I got back from Home Depot, I got on back out here and I started planting. As soon as I did, it started raining, then it started hailing. But I was like, I'm going to get this done, because you don't stop doing something here. If it rains, let me say that, when it rains. Now, all week it had been sunny, no rain in sight. It didn't start raining till the weekend. And then when it did, temperature dropped, hailing and raining. But we don't get that all the time. Not like people think. I be praying for rain. So anyway, it took us an hour and a half to get the job done. And like I said, including me loading the stuff in my car and taking it up to the dump, throwing it out. It took us an hour and a half to do that. And this guy was talking about, oh, wait. And then I found out, it doesn't cost anything to dump the yard waste. It doesn't cost anything for yard waste, because they take it, they turn it into compost, and then they charge people for it. So it was free to dump that stuff. I was like, this guy, unbelievable, y'all. Unbelievable. But there was so much satisfaction in the fact that I got out here and did this myself. And I'm so grateful that Mary came over and helped, because that part went a whole lot faster, than the afternoon the next day when I was trying to get everything planted. And also, so I did this Sunday, the front, and then I planted those 2 hedges in the back on Monday. I just went out there, dug both of the holes and did everything like that and got it all done. So I did water, as I was planting things, but I didn't water after. So it kept raining, icing the last 2 days. And then, so tomorrow I am going to water again. I'm going to water everything tomorrow. I just want to make sure it's a little bit warmer. So I'll do it up in the day while I'm sitting here working. I can watch it, and I'll water I'm just going to do the flower beds over here on the side, and then across here in the front, and then on the side of the house. And so this is the front porch where I'm going to put my 2 chairs that I have in the garage. And I'm not going to show you that now. I'll do that later. I'm going to work on the wreath first, and then I'll come back and show you what I have out there in the garage. But this right here are the 2 planters. And I think I'm going to keep these, because this does have like that little cabbage. I don't know what you call that plant. It does have some purple in it, which, I was kind of go for the lavender and purple thing. And it has that pretty green evergreen in there. So I think I am going to keep those. And I think what I'm going to do, I think if it will fit in the planters that I have in the garage, I'll sit those 2 in the planter. I don't want that white to show, though. That's the only thing, because the planters are black. As long as it will sit down deep enough, it has a ledge in it, where you can sit a planter off in it. So as long as it will sit all the way down in that planter without that white being seen, then I'll do it, unless I have to go around and paint the top of it, black. If I have to do that, there's like a little ridge, like a 1.5, 2 inch ridge on the top of there, that if that part sticks out, I can go around and paint that black. And just so that it doesn't look, can be uniform. And so, those are the 2 that I'm thinking about putting in that planter. If it doesn't fit well, if it sits up too high, I think what I'll do is I'll put those in the back. I'll just sit those in the back on the patio in the back, and then I'll get some others that will fit better in the 2 planters that I have. But I'll try that out and see how it works. But yeah, guys, so that was my working. That's what I did this weekend, working in the yard, just trying to get, my yard and patio ready. But I wanted to do this first before I put my patio furniture out. And this is April. I really want to get my patio set, but like I said, it's still cold here. It's still getting cold. So for me, I need a heater I need a heater, something I can get, like a heated blanket or something, but I need something right now because it's still, like I said, it's still real chilly here. I'm envying everybody else who's able to sit out now on their patios and sun's out, every day, and it's warmed up, but it takes us a while to get there because, like, I remember a couple years ago, it was July, I was still running my fireplace. So it'll be a minute before, I have like a warm day. I can sit out there. If I get my blankets, I can still sit out on the patio, but I do want to get this set up this month. So that's one of my goals and targets for this month. Okay, guys, I've rambled enough. I just had to tell y'all about that. That thing about these guys, these contractors, man, that's just pitiful. Just pitiful. But anyway, guys, so that's what I'm doing right now. I will talk to y'all soon when I get ready to do my patio, work on the wreath. I'll show you that next. I'll work on the wreath and you can see kind of what I'm going for, my colors in that, in the ribbon and things that I have to go in that. All right, I'll talk to you guys next time. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.